Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Vibes, and I'd love to welcome here Andy Gessner. He is the owner and president of Hip Video Promo. We're going to have a great conversation. Before we get into that, Andy, tell us a little bit more about you.
Sure. Well, I was very blessed to be born in the early 60s. So my first coherent memory, Kyle, was in February of 64 when my older sister came running into my room, grabbed me by the arm, said, "Come on, little brother, we're going to go watch Beatles on TV." And I do think, Kyle, that moment so many years ago really shaped my life journey. Always been a fan of rock and roll. I remember listening to my older brother and sister's 45 RPMs. And of course, the 70s was the decade of the hi-fi system. I would record all the new records. Local radio station would do the midnight double feature, and I'd record them on my 8-track tape player. And then you could take those 8 tracks, and if you liked the record, you'd maybe go buy the record since you'd want the highest quality sounding fidelity. And it was 1980 when I bought my first bass guitar, and I've never looked back. In the year 2000, after 20 years of being a musical creative, I pivoted to the marketing side of things. I figured if I can't do, I'll teach. And it's been 24 and a half years, and my team and I have promoted over 4,800 music videos over that time span. And this October, Hip Video Promo will turn 25 years old.
Wow. What would you say sets you apart from other promoters?
Well, a lot of these music marketing companies, Kyle, if you want to talk to the person in charge, that might be difficult. Many of these companies, not only do you not speak to the person in charge, you don't speak to anyone. And I get it. Technology has come a long way since we began in the year 2000. But as fellow musical creatives, I am very cognizant that the best thing to do is actually have a conversation, converse with the client with verse, and actually find out what it is that they're looking to do in their musical career. And pretty much across the board, it's to build their community, find new people who might embrace the cut of their musical jib. And certainly music videos are the cornerstone of any musical artist's identity. So why just upload it to YouTube? Why not have that music video pitched professionally to television channels like MTV or Music Choice or BET, CMT? Why not pitch that video to the music websites and blogs? Maybe they'll feature you in your video. Maybe they'll want to do an interview. And then, of course, people go out shopping, and whether it's a retail location like Foot Locker or Macy's, or you go to the fitness center and you see you have a choice of music videos on the exercise equipment, or you're at the nightclub or the bowling alley or on a cruise ship and you see music videos playing, you want to have your music video included there because it's all about making the biggest impact with your visual content. And that's where my team and I come in.
With streaming, though, doesn't it make it more difficult for new artists to make it?
Well, certainly back in the day, we would buy the record album, we would buy the compact disc, we might get the cassette tape. Nowadays, it's a much more difficult journey for an independent artist because not only are you looking to secure YouTube views, but you're also looking to secure streaming numbers, whether it be on Spotify or Apple. So it all really begins with making a great product, because at the end of the day, great music will always find an audience. But in this new music industry, Kyle, you really have to step up, got to put your inhibitions on the back burner. You've got to be there on the various online platforms, whether it be Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or X. So for me, my goal is to get more feathers in my United States Marine Corps utility cap. Heck, we were right there in the beginning with 30 Seconds to Mars. 2003, it was Death Cab for Cutie. Then in 2005, we learned of a new band called Maroon 5, and we promoted their first video. 2006, Paramore, their first video on Fueled by Ramen. 2007, Astroworks. They brought us a new artist named Sia. Heck, 2012, we were right there with the Lumineers when they released their wildly successful first single, Ho Hey, and that basically changed their lives forever, because though we were sitting with them in March of 2012 in a venue in Austin, Texas, right before they performed a show there at South by Southwest, and in March of 2012, there were 3 talented people who had no idea what was about ready to happen. And I think that song proved to the entire music community that, the decision makers and gatekeepers, they can have their opinions. But in the end, my team and I, we present, and it's the public that decides.
Say someone is listening to this or watching this and they're really wanting to get into the music business, and they come to you and you discuss what kind of music they play and you figure out where or what audience it's going to go to. What do you do next?
Well, if they don't have a visual, we do have a sister company, Hip Video Productions. We could potentially make them a lyric video or an official music video. But you really want the bait you put on your hook to be visual content. Now more than ever, Kyle, the music loving public listens with their eyes. But that first visual you share with the world, you have to be appreciative that you will be judged. Yes, there is a lot riding on that first presentation. Kyle, you and I both know you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Very true.
So you want to make sure that you come to my team and I with something that's really going to sizzle, really going to move the needle, because that is part of my job. I save many up and coming independent artists from themselves, in that it doesn't make sense for us to promote a video that is not going to provide an excellent return on investment. So I would rather tell a client their music video they've presented my team and I is not a good first impression than fib to them and tell them that it is.
Right. Do you ever have older artists come to you?
Sure, it was 2003 when, after many months of calling, that's what we did over 2 decades ago. We would call the record labels. Lost Highway called and they said they had a new video. I inquired as to who the artist was. They said, well, it's Johnny Cash.
Oh,
And
wow.
my jaw hit the floor. And they said, but we have a big problem, Andy. In the video, it looks like he's going to die. I'm like, oh my. And then they said, what's more is it's not Johnny's normal repertoire. It's a 9 Inch Nails cover. So I said, well, we're intrigued And gosh knows we'd be grateful for the opportunity to champion the iconic Man in Black, the most legendary and important American musical figure of our lifetime. And they said, okay, let me overnight you a VHS tape. Yes, that's how we did it back in the day. Remember, Kyle? So we watched the video. Once we had wiped a tear out of our eyes, I called back Lost Highway Records and I said we'd be thrilled, honored, feel extraordinarily privileged to help you with that video. And the rest is history. Heck, he would have won all those MTV Music Awards, Video Music Awards in September if he hadn't passed away 12 days prior to the event.
Those older artists, you get any pushback from those guys?
Not at all. Not at all. Working with a guy like Jim Peterick, he's the guy who wrote Vehicle, do, 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 do. 1970. He was only 19. And it took him 12 years to have his next big hit, but it was a whopper. It was Eye of the Tiger for Survivor.
Survivor, yeah.
So here's a guy living in the Chicagoland area. He lives large, loves life, enjoys his incredibly massive guitar collection. He also is a big, big car guy. So his classic cars are numerous and quite rare. And here's a gentleman who lives off the royalties of his musical endeavors. Pretty remarkable. And working with the Zombies, what a great pleasure.
Oh,
Working
wow,
with
yeah.
Herb Alpert. I mean, not only a legendary musician, but a legendary record guy. If you're not aware, A and M, the A is for Alpert, Herb Alpert. Yes, working with some of the older artists is such a pleasure, whether it's Carmine Appice, who was the drummer of Vanilla Fudge.
Had him on the show.
You had Carmine, so you know.
And his brother.
Just extraordinary human beings.
They're
And
awesome.
they are still fighting the good fight. And they can tell the stories about how when Led Zeppelin opened up for them and they were right there with the infamous mud shark incident. And there's so much to talk about. But these guys were my mentors. And now I get to assist them and fight the good fight for them and advocate for them. And it's true, Kyle. If you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life.
It's awesome. So how do folks get a hold of you?
Very easy. I am a phone call guy. And I am appreciative that that's not really the way things are done anymore. But I think you'd agree, Kyle, there's no better way to get to the crux of the situation than to have a conversation. So you can call me directly, 732-613-1779. I am the person in charge. Quite likely I will be here. I look forward to speaking with you. And if you'd like to find out more about HIP Video Promo, visit hipvideopromo.com. That is where you can find us. You can check out all of the many videos and artists we've had the great pleasure of advocating for. Our socials are at HIP Video Promo. So if you put that into a search bar, you can go to your favorite online platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. Our YouTube channel is at HIP Video. And there you've got all kinds of great videos, including old interviews with people like Pop Evil and Metric, Lumineers, that interview we did in 2012, Bat for Lashes, Minus the Bear, The Dirty Heads, We also have lots of great podcast episodes with people like Matt Pinfield, legendary radio DJ, Jim Peterick, as I mentioned him earlier. His episode was How to Write a Hit Song. Bruce Sudano, who was in Brooklyn Dreams and Alive and Kicking. Let's go back to 1970 for Oh, hold on a little bit tighter now, baby. Do, 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 do. Yeah, he's the one. He was there. And of course, he married quite the stunning, beautiful woman in 1979, that woman being Donna Summer.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, it was quite the journey for Bruce and Donna. Beautiful children who are incredible musical creatives, and getting to work with these kinds of people and getting to talk with them and do conversations with them, and then to be able to share it with the world. Wow, it's just the best thing in the world. And if you go to our YouTube channel, Kyle, anybody who's seeing this transmission, you can ensconce yourself in all that great visual content. And it's great for any up and coming artist because, let's face it, many people in the music industry, they perish due to lack of knowledge. So if you're looking for someone who spent the last 44 years living it, breathing it, sweating it, bleeding it, all I can do is encourage you to reach out. We'll be here.
Well, I will put all your links and your number in the description. Andy, thank you so much for coming on today, man.
Kyle, what a pleasure. And you've been fighting a good fight now. Man, it's a half a decade in. So many episodes. I would surmise that when you first started this out 5 years ago, you were perhaps maybe a little unsure if the public would embrace, gravitate, and fully ensconce themselves in the vibrations you emote. But it's pretty clear people like it, man, and good for you. Congrats and kudos.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We're working hard, man. We're trying to bring something good into the world. But again, thank you. And I also want to thank all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll come back. Please hit that subscribe button. From our regulars, you guys are awesome because you make it possible for me to do this. Until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network